So today morning we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 84, The Sages' Teachings at Kurukshetra. So we are having the shloka, text 19. ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय So please repeat. Brahmate hridayam shuklam tapaha swadhyaya sanyamaihi yatropalabdham sadvyaktam avyaktam cha tatah param Brahmate hridayam shuklam tapaha swadhyaya sanyamaihi yatropalabdham sadvyaktam avyaktam cha tatah param Brahmate hridayam shuklam tapaha swadhyaya sanyamaihi yatropalabdham sadvyaktam avyaktam cha tatah param dayam shuklam Paswadhyaya sanyamaihi Yatrulabdham sadvyaktam Avyaktam cha tatah param Brahmate hridayam shuklam Sapaswadhyaya sanyamaihi Yatropalabdham sadvyaktam avyaktam cha tatah param Brahmate hridayam shuklam tapaswadhyaya sanyamaihi Yatropalabdham sadvyaktam avyaktam cha tatah param Brahmate hridayam shuklam tata swadhyaya sanyamaihi yatropalabdham sadvyaktam avyaktam cha tatah param Matajis Brahmate hridayam shuklam tapaswadhyaya sanyamaihi yatropalabdham sadvyaktam avyaktam cha tatah param Word to word meaning Brahma, the Vedas, te, your, hridayam, heart, shuklam, pure, tapaha, by austerities, swadhyaya, study, sanyamaihi, and self-control, yatra, in which, upalabdham, perceived, sat, pure spiritual existence, vyaktam, the manifest, products of material creation, avyaktam, the unmanifest, subtle causes of creation. Cha and tataha, to that. Param, transcendental. Translation and purport by servants of Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. Translation: the Vedas are your spotless heart, and through them one can perceive, by means of austerity, study, and self control, the manifest and unmanifest and pure existence transcendental to both. Purport: Vyakta, the manifest, consists of the visible things of this world, and Avyakta consists of the subtle, underlying causes of cosmic creation. The Vedas point towards the transcendental realm of Brahman, which lies beyond all material cause and effect. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guroho Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shrirupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Goratvishe Namaha. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Krupa Sindubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So before beginning this wonderful narrations of Srimad Bhagavatam, I'd like to beg the blessings of Tattva Prabhuji, the other senior Vaishnavas, so that we can discuss about this very wonderful topics of Srimad Bhagavatam. So, we are here on Canto 10, 84 chapter, the sages' teachings at Kurukshetra. So, we are seeing that for last few days, Krishna was glorifying the great contribution and mercy of the sages who had come there. And now the sages are glorifying Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then this is how they are glorifying Krishna with this verse talking about the Vedas. So as they are telling that Brahmate Hridayam Shuklam, that the Vedas are your spotless heart. And then they are telling also that how that Vedas are to be understood. So they say Tapa Swadhyaya Sanyamai. By the austerities, by the study of the Vedas, and by self control, one gets an access to this heart of the Lord, that is the Vedas. And what happens when we get access? Says all three things are manifested to him, or all three things are understood by him. One is manifest, he understands the manifest world, then he understands the unmanifest cause behind that world, and third, transcendental thing beyond this manifest and unmanifest. So all these three things becomes accessible for the student when he has these three qualities of tapa, swadhyaya and sanyam. And then one reaches to the heart of the Lord, that is the Vedas. So why the Vedas are called as heart of the Lord? Because the Vedas express the mercy of Krishna for the all living entities. Because we see that the Lord is made of mercy personification. As when we are paying obeisances to Radha Ras Bihari, we sing, He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute. That he is the ocean of mercy. So his every activity is for upliftment, benefit of his devotees and those who are forgotten that devotional service. So everything is mercy only. That's how we see that the Acharyas, they describe every part of the Lord, every activity of the Lord as mercy only. Even if he glances, that glance also is called as mercy. Krupa Kataksha. When he walks, when he talks, when he comes here in this material world, that is also mercy. So his activities, the pastime, that is also great mercy. Because that gives us a chance to remember him and again go back and connect to him. So the existence of the Lord is for mercy only, either to his devotees or those who have forgotten devotional service. In both ways, the Lord reciprocates, acts, gives his instructions. So, as Chaitanya Charitamrita also describes about the origin of this Vedas. Well, this is when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is instructing Sanatana Goswami. Then he talks about how the living entity becomes contaminated when he comes here, and then he is captured by Maya. So, now the living entity captured by Maya is not just a one event, but then it is very, Krishna becomes very much concerned for his part and parcel that they should come back. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is talking this to Sanatana Goswami. This is Madhya Leela 20th chapter. So text 122 he says, 21 he says, Daivihyesha gunamayi mama maya duratya mame vaye prapadyante maya metam tarantite. So he talks that how the Daivi Maya, that is this Maya which keeps living entities away from Krishna, that is also Daivi, because that is origin is Krishna only. So this divine energy of mind, consisting of three modes of material nature, is difficult to overcome. But those who have surrendered unto me can easily cross beyond it. So Krishna is declaring here that it is very difficult to cross over Maya, that it is like more difficult to cross than crossing an ocean individually by swimming. So the first two lines tells how impossible the task for a jiva to cross Maya is. So that is impossible. But next two lines only, Krishna makes that impossible into possible by telling that Mameva ye prapadyante maya metam tarantite. But those who have surrendered unto me can easily cross beyond it. So how to cross? Then this shloka comes. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is telling, Maya mugdha jivera nahi swata Krishna jnan jivera krupaya kaila Krishna veda puran. The conditioned soul cannot receive his Krishna consciousness, revive his Krishna consciousness by his own effort. But out of causeless mercy, Lord Krishna compiled the Vedic literature and its supplements, the Puranas. Purport. The conditioned soul is bewildered by Lord's illusory energy Maya. Maya's business is to keep the conditioned souls forgetful of his real relationship with Krishna. So when this relationship with the Lord is forgotten, how that is revived? Jai Shri Radha Ras Bihari Ji ki, Shri Shri Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman ki, Shri Shri Gaunitai ki, Srila Prabhupada ki. Prabhupada gives this shloka here. He says, Yaya sammohito jiva atmanam trigunatmakam paropi manute nartham tatkritam chapipadyate. So, due to this external energy, the living entity, although transcendental to the three modes of material nature, thinks of himself as a material product and thus undergoes the reactions of material miseries. So, living entity, when he comes here, he starts identifying himself with this body, and then he starts working under these three modes of material nature. Sometimes he is happy, sometimes he is unhappy, sometimes he is healthy, sometimes unhealthy, sometimes he feels good, sometimes he feels bad. And we see that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu goes on describing about the situation of this conditioned entity is like a person who is dipped inside the waters again and again and taken out. When he is underwater, he is suffocating, gasping for the air. When he is taken out for a short while, he feels very happy that at least I am not dead. Little air, he gets a chance to breathe. And then again he is put under, dunked in the water. So this is the situation of conditioned soul, that repeatedly he goes enjoying and suffering of this world. And then that becomes an endless loop, because when he is unhappy, he feels that how nice it will be if this goes away and then I'll be happy. And then he gets little happiness just prior to another set of unhappiness. And then that goes on. So when conditioned soul is stuck in this loop of happiness and distress, then what is the solution for such person? Like once the scientist, they had made that experiment with the rats. What they did is they put the rats in cage, and then they were having two buttons that if they, they press on one button, then hot air will, come upon them, which will practically make them roast. And then another button was there, when they put, the butter will drop from top. So the rats, when they were going around and clicking, after some time they understood that this is very dangerous button because it is giving hot air, and this is a very nice button because that is giving very delicious butter to eat. Then after half an hour they exchanged the buttons. Now the same button which was giving hot air was giving now the nice butter. So for few moments the rats were little confused, that because they had experienced that this button gives hot air, now it has started giving, and then previously which was giving nice butter was giving hot air. But after some time they again settled down, understanding that okay, now this is dangerous, this is nice. After some time again they changed. There was a confusion for some time, again they settled with that. And after doing it for 2-3 times like that, they opened the door of the cage. And to their surprise, the rats were so busy in playing with these two buttons, they didn't pay any heed to the open door. They were happy playing there rather than going out and be free. So that what exactly happens to conditioned soul, that he is not only entangled in this world because he is very happy, he is entangled by both happiness and distress. We can see that people think about distress more than the happiness. They are like, they are so stuck even in unhappiness. So once, His Holiness Jayadatta Swami Maharaj was giving class to the youth, and then one of the person, he asked Maharaj that, Maharaj, what we have to give up to become Krishna conscious? Because general idea is that we have to give up so many things, no meat eating, no gambling, and then tea and coffee and so many things. So he was asking that, Maharaj, what we have to give up? So as Maharaj is very famous for his one-liner, so he just spoke one word only. One word. So when he was asked that what we have to give up, he said, misery. We have to just give up the misery and be Krishna conscious. We are so attached to our own misery, that's what keeps us in this material world. So, when we are coming out from this cycle of happiness and distress, but then it is not so easy to give up that attachment to happiness and distress. Then Krishna mercifully gives the Vedas for such living entities by which they can cross over this predicament. And then Prabhupada writes here, thinking himself a product of material energy, the conditioned soul engages in the service of material energy in so many ways. He becomes the servant of lust, anger, greed, and envy. In this way, one totally becomes a servant of illusory energy. Later, the bewildered soul becomes a servant of mental speculation. But in any case, he is simply covered by illusory energy. Out of his causeless mercy and compassion, Krishna has compiled various Vedic literature in his incarnation as Vyasadeva. Vyasadeva is a Shaktavish avatar of Lord Krishna. So we see that Krishna incarnates in varieties of ways just so that he can revive the lost sons. He incarnates in deity form, he incarnates in the literature, he incarnates in the form of his prasad, he incarnates in the form of Ganga, he incarnates in the form of holy name, he comes. So, unlimited incarnation he does, unlimited activities he does, just so that give us a chance so that we can connect to him. So that is his mercy. So his mercy is expressed in this world by these Vedas. So these Vedas are the heart of the Lord, that how much he wants us to reunite with him back. So this Vedas, that's how here it says that the Vedas are your spotless heart. But one may say that the same Vedas, sometimes they misguide people. Because there are so many other things are also there, which are not directly devotional service. There are so many demigod worship, and then there is Jnana Kanda and so many things. But then we see that that is also one of the mercy of the Lord, because in Bhagavad Gita also Krishna says that those who are not qualified to worship him, those who have not come to that level to accept Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, for them he gives so many levels of coming to him without him. So, if somebody is not ready to fully surrender to Krishna, he says, okay, no problem. Second best. If that is also not possible, third best. Fourth best. So, even if somebody is not wanting Krishna, he says, no problem. We have so many demigods, and then you can worship demigods, be in the fold of Vedic text, and then slowly develop your consciousness. So Krishna is so merciful that he is ready to share his supremacy, ready to share his influence, ready to share his glory with somebody who is like a competitor. And that's how we see that Lord is ready to do practically anything for conditioned soul to reach out to him directly, indirectly, in any way. So the Vedas is like a whole big, shoppy, where everything is there. It's like a mall, that whatever you desire is there. But why that is created? Because everybody is not on the same level when they are coming to Krishna. So Krishna is facilitating every desire of conditioned soul through the Vedas. And that's how Vedas are called as Kalpataru. They give everything. So here in this shloka, the devotees or these personalities who are worshipping and glorifying Krishna, they are telling that these Vedas are your spotless heart, and through them one can perceive by means of austerity, study and self-control. So these three qualification, they are telling that by these three qualification one can approach, understand the Vedas. But then we see that these three qualities, if they are not properly executed under the proper guidance of spiritual master, then the result becomes opposite only. We see that this comes in the same canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, that when we are not properly engaged and are not understanding the real purpose of the Vedas and the things mentioned in the Vedas, as even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu goes on describing ahead that these Vedas are divided into these three. He says, वेद शास्त्र कहे संबंध अभिधेय प्रयोजन कृष्ण प्राप्य संबंध भक्ति प्राप्तेर sadhana. The Vedic literature gives information about the living entity's eternal relationship with Krishna, which is called sambandha. The living entity's understanding of this relationship and his acting accordingly is called abhidheya. Returning home back to Godhead is the ultimate goal of life and is called prayojana. So every Vedic understanding, every Vedic shloka is divided either as a sambandha or abhidheya or prayojana. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is telling that the Vedas are guiding humanity which is lost, has come away from Krishna consciousness to back connecting to Krishna. So when this facility of understanding Krishna through Vedas, if it is not properly understood, if it is not properly with proper intention, one does it, then the result is exactly opposite. We see here only in the 10th canto that shloka where the Lord Krishna and Sudama, when they are discussing, when they were meeting after so many days in Dwarka, and then they were discussing about their Gurukul days, where Sudama and Krishna, they were so intimate friends, doing so many wonderful activities. So there, that they were remembering all the trials and tribulations they had gone through to serve Guru. This gives an understanding that what goes deep in the heart and that lasts for so long is not what fun and happiness we have in the Gurukula, but they are remembering with great taste the suffering and the tapasya they did for the pleasure of Guru. So that's how we may not remember what type of feasts we had in past after 40 years, but we'll surely remember how we strenuously, painstakingly did some book distribution efforts or some tapasya we did to serve devotees and Guru. So that is very much goes in the heart and that is remembered even after so many days. So we understand that this opportunity for us to serve Guru and Krishna and devotees, when we are doing it going one step ahead of our capacity, that really becomes our cherished memories, and then that becomes our very important aspect in our life, which gives us inspiration throughout, not only for that moment. So that becomes a greatest wealth for a sadhaka, the experience which he goes through, which are going through a lot of tapasya. So here, when they were lost in the forest and rain was there, and they had been sent to collect firewood, and then they went also and so much of difficulties were there. And whole night they had to be strangled inside the forest. They couldn't come out. Sandipani Muni was very much in tension. Early morning when the sun broke out, he went out with so many other students and he was searching Krishna and Sudama. And when they both they were spotted, Sudama and Krishna, they both were having still the bundle of the forest wood and they were catching each other's hand. So that sight was so pleasing to Sandipani Muni that he blessed them. What was the blessing? Blessing is very important for all of us also. Tushtoham bodvijashrestha satya santu manorathaha chandansi yatayamani bhavantyah paratracha. He says that you boys are first class brahmanas and I am satisfied with you. Tushtoham. May all your desires be fulfilled. Satyaha santu manorathaha. And may the Vedic mantras you have learned never lost their meaning for you. Chandansi yatayamani bhavantyah paratracha. So, the Vedic mantras you have learned never lose their meaning for you in this world or in the next. So, pleasing spiritual master brings out this benediction for the student. So, purport Prabhupada writes that cooked food left sitting for 3 hours is called yatayama, indicating that it has lost its taste. And similarly, if a devotee does not remain fixed in Krishna consciousness, the transcendental knowledge that once inspired him on the spiritual path will lose its taste or meaning for him. Thus, Sandipani Muni blesses his disciples that the Vedic mantras which reveal the absolute truth will never lose their meaning for them, but will remain ever fresh in their minds. So, spiritual life is not just an event, but spiritual life is whole life. It is not the study of the Vedas is just event, 1 day, 2 day or 2 years. No. We are student all life. It is not we are student only when we are sitting in Bhagavatam class. We are student only when we are attending some seminar or we are hearing from spiritual master. We are student for whole life, and that whole life studentship that is blessed by such blessing when the spiritual master becomes pleased. Because we see that it is not so easy to have the same enthusiasm, same taste year after year after year after year. So, that's how we see that we are so fortunate to see so many wonderful examples in front of our eyes in the form of disciples of Prabhupada, that they are going on and on and on rather than decreasing their enthusiasm. Enthusiasm is increasing more and more. So that shows that they are blessed by Srila Prabhupada for making, and that's what is making them an instrument which inspires practically the whole world. So, this one aspect of pleasing spiritual master becomes the cause of that Vedic knowledge to become fixed up in his heart without losing the taste, even after years and years of difficulties or his material life. And then, why he was pleased, as this shloka says, that these 3 things which make that knowledge being accessible. Brahmate hridayam shuklam tapah swadhyaya sanyamai. That Brahma, the Vedic understanding, becomes accessible by tapa, swadhyaya and sanyama. So, tapa means the austerity, swadhyaya means the study, and sanyama is self-control. So we see that when the student is having these three qualities, he is ready to do tapasya, that shows his intent to please Krishna. Because as we see that when Prabhupada has given us 4 rules plus 1, that is no meat eating, no gambling, no intoxication, no illicit sex, and chanting minimum 16 rounds every day. So these 5 things he has given. So why not only chanting 16 rounds? Because that is the Yuga Dharma, that is what is needed. Why this 4 no's? Because these 4 no's qualify us to chant Hare Krishna, because we are ready to go through tapasya. That is a very clear-cut intention showing to Krishna that I am serious. Because otherwise, anybody can say that, yes, I am serious, I will chant Hare Krishna. But how we show our seriousness, how we express our seriousness, is by how much we are willing to do tapasya. How much we are willing to go through difficult situations to please Prabhupada. So that this austerity gives the intent of a student that he is willing to go through. And then the study which gives an understanding that he is ready to sit here and be obedient to Guru. Because that's how the Vedic study is done. And the self-control which qualifies him to receive that mercy. And that's how we see in Bhagavad Gita also Krishna says this word, that who receives this opportunity to receive this transcendental knowledge, tad vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshinaha. So there also he says that these 3 aspects, which is the vidhi is, the process is this: pranipata, that he becomes obedient; pariprashnena, that he is inquisitive; and sevaya, he is ready to serve not when he likes, he is ready to serve when he is in difficulty, when his mind is crying, his body is crying, his ego is crying, still he serves. Then he becomes qualified to receive mercy of Guru. So we see this example of Sudama and Krishna, that they went through these difficulties, they went through austerity, they were studying under Guru, they were very obedient, and then they were showing how they were ready to go through any qualification to receive the mercy. And then they received the mercy. But then we see that if the spiritual master is not pleased, even after having this whatever your material qualification, then the knowledge doesn't last. Mahabharat, that incident comes when Karna, he also wanted to become like Arjuna and Pandavas and have a contest. He thought that I am always pinned down, always looked down, and he wanted to show himself that he is also somebody. But then he knew that Dronacharya is not going to give him any. So then he went to whom? Parshuram. But then Parshuram, being the most powerful, he was a Kshatriya by his activities and powerful sage. and he was known all over for his expertise. So he felt that I should go and learn from him. If I have to give a equal, if I have to become competent. He went, but then he understood that there is one claw, that if he is not a Brahmin, then he was not given that particular mantras and the education. Then he said, okay, no problem. Then he disguised himself, changed his identity card, and then he went. But then, in due course of time, the spiritual master came to know, and then exactly opposite curse he gave, which Sandipani Muni gave to Krishna and Sudama. He said that whatever you have learnt, very nice. Whatever you have gone through, very nice. Only thing is that will not come to your help when the most important point will come where it is supposed to be used. When you are needing it the most, you will forget it. So we see that pleasing spiritual master through austerity, study and self-control gives access to the heart of the Lord, and that heart is the Vedas, and that Vedas represents and brings Lord's mercy to the whole humanity. And why it is called as the heart of the Lord? Because that is what the whole intention of Lord is always. He is always thinking about his part and parcel, how to reclaim these conditioned souls. And that's how he comes again and again. He comes as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityanand Prabhu. Yesterday only Nityanand Prabhu appeared. And he is appearing again and again in our life. Whenever we are chanting with eagerness and heart, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is more than eager, more than us also, to give us Krishna consciousness. And Nityanand Prabhu goes home to home. Like nowadays, home deliveries are very famous. Blinkit and this, it and that. So just give one order and then it comes home. But then that was started by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityanand Prabhu. That they were going home to home, door to door, telling that you take this mercy, that you just chant Hare Krishna. So this Vedic literature is called as the heart of the Lord. And we can see also that this Vedic literature, which is the intention of the Lord for the forgotten souls, that is the plan of the Lord which He makes to reunite those who are lost in this material world. So that's how the sages in Kurukshetra, they are glorifying the Lord, that this Vedas are like your spotless heart. And we can see also that the literature represents the heart of an individual who is going and giving it. And we can see also that when Prabhupada was challenged or kind of pinned by a reporter asking that, Prabhupada, now because you are there, the movement is going and increasing very nicely, but what if when you leave in future, what happens? So Prabhupada was very emphatic. Like a general of an army, he said that I'll never die. And that was like big uproar in devotees, They said, Jai Prabhupada. Because they were, so here was a general of army leading them. He said that, I'm not going to die. So, and then Prabhupada said that I'll always live in my books. So, and Prabhupada also expressed that his Bhaktivedanta purports are his spiritual ecstasies. So, by reading Prabhupada books, we are directly reaching to the heart of Prabhupada. And what is the heart of Prabhupada? The heart of Prabhupada is pure mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu. So, if we just reach to that heart, that is the whole purpose of our human existence. So, when we are reading Prabhupada's books, we are getting all the purports of the Vedas very lucidly, very simply at our hand, that we can access that same Vedic literature through this Bhaktivedanta purport without missing anything. So if you just stick to Prabhupada's purports, that it's sure to make our life successful. Okay, so we saw here these two things. One, that how Vedas are the heart of the Lord, intention of the Lord to reclaim fallen souls. And we saw that these three aspects, Tapa, Swadhyaya and Sanyama, the austerities, the study and the control of the senses. So they qualify person to understand the Vedic literature. And then we saw these two examples, that how the Krishna and Sudama, they were blessed by spiritual master to continue their inspiration, taste, the influence of this Vedic words. And Karna was cursed to lose that. And then that's what happened. And then he couldn't make it when it was the most needed time. Hare Krishna. So, any comments?
Hare Krishna. Thank you. In Gajendra Moksha prayers, Gajendra prays that Namo Namastubhyam Asahya Vega Shaktra Krile Digunaya Prapannapalaya Duratya Shakti Kadindriyanam Na Vartate Na Apnoti Vartate. So Gajendra says, my dear Lord, you are a maintainer of those people who are surrendered to you, Prapannapalaya. And then Kadindriyanam, those who cannot control their senses, you are impossible to attain. Duratya. So it is very important aspect for devotees to control the senses, austerity. And then Krishna himself says in Bhagavatam 10th canto, while speaking to Yudhishthira Maharaj, all your brothers conquered me because you conquered your senses. So devotees, we should not neglect to control our senses. That is a very important message you are giving. Once one person wrote an article in New York Times that why we should attend church programs on Sunday and here. So one person in questions, he wrote back saying that I heard so many lectures in the sermons in the church, but I don't remember anything. So what is the use of attending? Then the author replied back saying that your mother must have fed you so many types of feasts on so many days, but you don't remember what all items she fed you. You forget. But once you ate that feast, you get nourished. In the same way, we may not recollect whatever we heard in all our lectures, but every time we hear, we get nourished. That is, you mentioning in between like that. I have a question. Why Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that Ruksama Yajurevacha Pitahamasya Jagato Mata Data Pitamaha Vedyam Pavitram Omkaro Ruksama Yajurevacha. Then means he mentioned only I am Ruk, Sam and Yaju, right? Then in Sukadeva Goswami Mangalacharana prayers also, you know, Sa Yesha Atma Atmavatam Adishwaraha Trayimayi Dharmamayi Tapomayi Trayimayi. So Vedas are called Trayimayi, but there are four. My question is why it is like that? What about the other fourth Veda?
I'm not very. Anybody else can knows?
People keep asking this question.
Yeah.
Why Krishna did not mention Ruk, Sama, Yajurveda? What is the other Veda? Atharva Veda. It is not important or Vedas are called Traimayi. Traividyamam Somapa Putapapa. Like that. Your answer?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhu, I hope so. The Atharvana Veda is mostly filled with impersonalism, Prabhu. And it doesn't promotes more about the devotional activities. And the rest of the parts, Rig, Sama, Yajur, mostly that Pancharatrika Vidhi is coming to worship the deities. And all the Agamas are coming in the Yajur Vedas, we can see. But in this Atharvana Veda, it's mostly like black magic. It's like more negative mantras actually, more tamasic mantras, and it is filled with impersonalism. So that's why I'm assuming only it's not. I'm say exact answer. So once I asked the same question to a devotee, I asked to a pujari. He told me like this actually.
Which
I asked to
pujari?
Mukundatta Prabhu. I asked.
Okay, so Mukundatta Prabhu is saying that this one Veda is having a negative in terms of impersonalism and so many other materialistic mantras. Okay.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी। जो कर्ण जो था पहले जीवन में बड़ा राक्षस था, उसने बहुत तपस्या किया और सूर्य भगवान से वरदान मांगा कि मुझे अमर करा दो, मृत्यु नहीं चाहिए। तो सूर्य भगवान उसको बोले कि मृत्यु निश्चित है, जिनका जन्म हुआ है उसको मृत्यु निश्चित है, विधाता का विधान है, टाल नहीं सकते हैं। तो उन्होंने बोला मुझे 1000 कवच दो और जो मेरे से युद्ध करेगा 1000 वर्ष के बाद एक कवच टूट जाएगा और जैसे कवच टूटेगा उसकी मृत्यु हो जाएगी। इस प्रकार से वो जब आतंक फैलाया तो स्वयं नर नारायण प्रकट हो गए उसको मारने के लिए। तो 1000 वर्ष से नर युद्ध करते थे, उसके बाद नारायण युद्ध करते थे। ऐसा समय करते करते 999 कवच टूट गए और जो समझ गया भी मैं मरने वाला हूँ तो भाग गया और सूर्य भगवान के शरण में गया। तो सूर्य ने अपने में ले लिया उसको, यह एक कवच बाकी था। नारायण ऋषि आए, बोले वापस करो। वो बोले कि मेरे शरण में आया है, मैं वापस नहीं कर सकता हूँ। तो उनको शाप दिया, तो मनुष्य योनि को प्राप्त हो जाओगे। तो सूर्य भगवान जो है एक अंश से करने में रहे और जो राक्षस भी उनके अंदर रहा एक अंश से। तो राक्षस के कारण वो दुष्टों को साथ देता था और दैवी प्रभाव से वो दानवीर था। वो हमेशा याचक को मोह मांगा देता था। तो सूर्य भगवान उसको बताया कि मैं तुम्हारा पिता हूँ और कुंती तुम्हारी माता है और सब समझाया बताया। लेकिन उन्होंने बोला अगर याचक मेरे सामने आए तो मैं ना बोल नहीं सकता है, तो स्वयं इंद्र भगवान उनसे भिक्षा मांगने गए ब्राह्मण वेश पकड़कर। जब उन्होंने पूछा तो उन्होंने कवच कुंडल निकाल के दे दिया, क्योंकि बिना कवच कुंडल निकाले वो मर नहीं सकता था। और इस प्रकार से फिर उसकी मृत्यु हुई और धर्म की स्थापना प्रभु कर पाए। हरे कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna. Thank you. He had something.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु। हम लोग जानते हैं कि जैसे वेद ने चुरा लिया था, कोई असुर, कौन सा असुर था? वेद ने चुरा लिया था ना।
हाँ, वेद चुरा लिया था। हाँ,
तो वेद मूर्तिमान वेद था या लिखा हुआ ऐसा थे?
ओके। तो ये था सृष्टि के बिगिनिंग में, जब ये दो असुर पैदा हुए थे। कौन?
कैटब ऐसे ना।
हाँ, मधु
मधु
और कैटभ। तो वो जो दो असुर हुए थे, वो ब्रह्मा जी का जो वैदिक ज्ञान है वो चुरा लिया। अभी हम तो सुनते हैं कि धन चोरी हो सकता है, लेकिन ज्ञान चोरी नहीं हो सकता है। ज्ञान को चोरी कैसे कर सकते? लेकिन ज्ञान भी चोरी हो सकता है। आजकल बहुत सारा साइबर क्राइम होता है। तो घर बैठ के आपका बैंक बैलेंस खाली होता है। तो ये जो हम देखते हैं ना, हम कितने भागवतम सुनते हैं, इतना ज्ञान आता है, लेकिन कुछ ऐसा सिचुएशन आ जाता है हम भूल जाते हैं, और वो सिचुएशन के बाद वापस याद आता है। तो उसका मतलब है कि वो समय के लिए हमारा एक्सेस फेल हो गया, समझ ना? तो वो चुराना ही है। अगर किसी के बैंक में 2 करोड़ है, लेकिन उसका जो एक्सेस पासवर्ड भूल जाता है वो, तो जब वो भूल गया है उस समय वो 2 करोड़ उसके हाथ में नहीं है। उसको अगर चाहिए तो मिल नहीं पाएंगे उसको। तो ये जो काम, क्रोध, लोभ, मद, मोह, मत्सर है, अगर वो जब हृदय में आ जाते हैं तो हमारा ज्ञान भी कट हो जाता है। वो रहता है लेकिन हम एक्सेस नहीं कर पाते। तो ये अलग प्रकार का साइबर क्राइम है, जो माया हमारे साथ हमेशा करती रहती है। ज्ञान होने के बाद भी हम गलती करते बैठते। तो ये ऐसा, पुस्तक चोरी करना एक बात है, और ज्ञान को अवरुद्ध करना वो भी चोरी है ऑलमोस्ट, समझे ना? तो ज्ञान का हम इस्तेमाल नहीं कर पाते, उसका मतलब है कि वो एज गुड एज हमारे पास नहीं है। वो अभी क्या कर सकते? तो ऐसा चोरी हुआ था, साइबर क्राइम।
मैं एक चित्र में मैं देखा था, वो हैग्री भगवान फिर लाए थे ना वापस, तो वैसा वेद जैसा कुछ रखे थे वैसा दिखाने के लिए, पता नहीं।
यस यस।
तो ऐसा मैं सोचा कि उस समय 5000 साल तो पहले लिखा नहीं था कुछ, तो कैसे चुरा लिए?
वैदिक ज्ञान जो है वो भगवान ने ब्रह्मा जी को पुस्तक नहीं दिया था। कैसे दिया था? तेने ब्रह्म हृदय आदि कवये। तो वो हृदय में प्राप्त हुआ था, तो वो चोरी कैसे कर सकते? बुक कहाँ था?
तो फिर वापस कैसे दिए?
वापस दिया जब वो जो आवरण है वो हटा दिया भगवान ने, तो वापस। तो वही तो गुरु का काम है और कृष्ण का काम है।
ठीक है, हरे कृष्ण।
थैंक यू। यस।
You have told that this self-control, austerity and the study is to please the spiritual master only. And if you will see in case of Karna and this Ekalavya, they were actually, naturally they were inclined to be a warriors, like they are Kshatriyas actually, but they were not born in a Kshatriya family, we can see that, and they were naturally, they are having the desire to fight, be a warrior, and they are approaching their gurus. But Dronacharya neglected Ekalavya, because he wants already Arjuna to be the, he wants to give the knowledge only to Arjuna actually, to make Arjuna a number one archer.
Yeah.
But why he asked Ekalavya to cut his two fingers? So Guru, but why Guru is not seeing what the disciple is very capable of actually?
Yeah. So this is always a kind of a concern, objection raised by outside people, that why Dronacharya was so partial to Arjuna and he was always suppressing skillful, competent Eklavya. But then we see that Kshatriya is not just having a desire to fight. That is not a Kshatriya. Then by that, even the terrorists have a desire to fight. They don't come in the category of Kshatriyas. Just because you are having a weapon in your hand and you know how to use it, that doesn't make you Kshatriya. So Kshatriya has the gunas and karmas are given in Bhagavad Gita. So when that incident happened, that they were harming that dog and the dog came, then Dronacharya could understand that this is not, Kshatriya will not do this, for sure. And when he came, then he, if you read the Mahabharata, this, that community, whole community, that was against the rulers. They had always clashes with the rulers. So he knew that if I am supporting him and making him equipped with the knowledge, that will be going to be used against only. So it is like giving the most important documents in some atomic research in the hands of somebody who is like a terrorist. You can't do that. So what he did was perfect, and then that's how. Because if somebody is qualified, even if he is enemy, Drishtadyumna, he knew that he was born to kill him. He could have said, no, seat full, I can't, no admission. He could have said that, but he didn't. Because he knew that his Kshatriya is, proper lineage is there, and then he gave. So he taught his enemy. Then what was his point? And he could have easily taught Eklavya, but he didn't. So it was on principle, not on some personal.
In case of Karna Prabhu, then he is lying, but he also had that same Parshuram also had some motives to teach only to Brahmana, same like Dronacharya.
Yeah, so they always, any proper skill is always taught to proper, qualified, well-intentioned person only. Not to those whom you have little doubt, they will not. So that is normal. Not everybody is given admission in medical. You have to qualify. Not everybody is given admission in engineering. You have to qualify. Not everybody is given army training. You have to qualify. You can't say that, no, what is this? They should allow everybody. No, they will not. So just because they are not allowing everybody doesn't mean that they are partial. No, they are doing their job. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
हरे कृष्णा। एक समय द्रोणाचार्य के पास एकलव्य गया शिक्षा पाने के लिए। तो द्रोणाचार्य बोले आप राजपुत्र नहीं है, इसलिए राजपुत्रों के साथ मैं आपको पढ़ा नहीं सकता हूँ। फिर भी उन्होंने उनको आशीर्वाद दिया कि आपको विद्या प्राप्त होगी। फिर एकलव्य जंगल में जाके उनका पुतला बना के विद्या सीख रहा था और उनके कृपा से वो पूर्ण हुआ। और एक समय कौरव पांडव जंगल में घूमने गए थे गुरुजी के साथ में, तो उस समय उनके साथ कुत्ता था, कुत्ता भी गया था साथ में, तो भूख रहा था। तो एकलव्य ने शब्द भेदे बाण चलाकर और कुत्ते का मुख सील कर दिया और भूखना बंद कर दिया। तो फिर जब आगे अर्जुन ने बोला गुरुजी मेरे से भी ज़्यादा ये हो इसको स्किल, तो उन्होंने बोला, गए पूछा कौन है आपके गुरुजी? वो बोले द्रोणाचार्य। और वो बोला मैं हूँ द्रोणाचार्य, अब दो गुरु दक्षिणा। तो उन्होंने क्या इच्छा है? बोला आपका दाहिने हाथ का अंगूठा काट के दो। उन्हें तुरंत दाहिने हाथ का अंगूठा काट के दिया और इसलिए उनका नाम अमर हुआ, द्रोणा शिष्य एकलव्य। हरे कृष्ण। बहुत